Imagine standing on a dry, windy hill in southern Italy. You look up and there it is. A whole city made of pale stone, perfectly balanced on the edge of a steep, terrifying cliff. But there are no cars driving around. There are no voices echoing in the streets. There is no smoke coming from the chimneys. This place is completely dead. Welcome to Craco, the medieval hill town that is slowly, literally, sliding off the edge of the earth. Today, we are exploring one of the most beautiful, dramatic, and tragic ghost towns in the entire world. Craco wasn't always this quiet and eerie. For over 1,000 years, this town was actually full of life and energy. It was built way back in the 8th century. The people who started the town built it high up on a 1,300-foot cliff for a very good reason: survival. Up there, they could stay safe from attackers and see enemy armies coming from miles away. For centuries, the town did exactly what it was supposed to do. It survived wars, it survived terrible plagues, and it survived the rise and fall of kings. It grew into a busy, wealthy home with a university, 4 large plazas, a castle, and thousands of people living their everyday lives in these tight, winding stone streets. But the very thing that kept Craco safe from armies, its incredible height and steep cliffs, eventually became its worst enemy. You see, the town was built on a very fragile hill made of clay and soft rock. As the centuries passed, the earth beneath them simply started to fail. First, it was the earthquakes. The ground shook violently, cracking the ancient stone walls and weakening the foundations. Then came the heavy, unforgiving rains. The water soaked into the ground and slowly washed away the soft clay underneath the heavy stone houses. Over time, the entire town began to shift and sink. By the 1950s and 60s, things got absolutely terrifying. Huge landslides started pulling massive chunks of the town down into the valley below. Houses were literally splitting in half. Streets were collapsing into nothing. Imagine waking up, opening your front door, and seeing that the road you walked on yesterday is just gone. The government brought in scientists, and they realized the terrible truth: the whole town was doomed. In 1963, officials made a heartbreaking decision. Every single person had to pack up whatever they could carry and leave immediately. Over 1,800 people were forced to abandon the homes their families had lived in for generations. They were relocated to a new town down in the valley, leaving old Craco behind to the mercy of the wind. Now, more than 50 years later, Craco is frozen in time. When you walk through these empty, ruined streets today, you can still feel the heavy ghosts of the past. You can see old rusty balconies hanging over massive drops. There are beautiful churches with their roofs completely caved in, letting the sunlight hit the old altars. You can even find old bakeries and homes with the faded, peeling paint still on the walls. Weeds and wild grass grow right through the stone floors. It feels like everyone just vanished into thin air during dinner. Because it looks so haunting and naturally dramatic, Craco actually got a surprise second life. Movie directors absolutely fell in love with this crumbling ghost town. If these ruins look a little familiar to you, you might have seen them on the big screen. Craco was used as a filming location for massive movies like the James Bond film Quantum of Solace and The Passion of the Christ. But even with movie crews occasionally visiting, the town is still incredibly dangerous to explore. The earth is still shifting, and pieces of the town are still slowly sliding away into the canyon. Craco is a powerful, visual reminder that no matter how strong we build our cities, nature always wins in the end. It is a beautiful, sad monument to 1,000 years of human history, just waiting to finally fall into the valley. Have you ever visited a ghost town or an abandoned place that gave you chills? Tell me about it in the comments below. I love reading your stories. If you liked exploring this abandoned masterpiece with me today, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an adventure into the forgotten places of our world. Stay curious, and I'll see you in the next one.